Okay, the number 7 horse is Fear the Cowboy for a miracle working trainer and Efron Loza Jr. This guy's a future Jorge Navarro in the making. You can see here he wins 34% of his dirt races, 38% of his route races. Look at that, a 359 ROI, gigantic profits. He's 34% here in the 31 to 60 day category. Just, freakish numbers across the board. He won 31% of his races last year. We really like the trainer of Fear the Cowboy, and we like his running style. He's a tactically versatile horse. He loves the track at Gulfstream. You see 6 starts at Gulfstream, 4 wins, a second and a third. So there are some things to like. But the big problem is he's just not up to the level of these horses, be it, especially on class. He did jump up and run 105 buyer figure when he got a fast pace to set him up in the Harlan's Holiday, going 8.5 furlongs over this Gulfstream track last time. They'll get an extra half furlong to play with. They'll get another fast pace. Maybe Loza can wave the magic wand and get another forward move out of him, but just a little bit outclassed. Actually, a lot outclassed. His last race provides some hope, but I give him a 1% chance of winning, 100 to 1 fair value. He could be the kind of horse that sneaks up and runs 4th if they go too fast, runs a 3rd or 4th in a pace meltdown scenario. Could be a sneaky horse to throw, if you're betting a superfecta in the bottom slots of that. But chances of winning just 1%, 100 to 1 fair value. That's the 7 Fear the Cowboy. Note the trainer, though, Efron Loza Jr., going to be a great trainer someday. The 8 horses War Story for Jorge Navarro Luch Racing. He actually competed in this Pegasus World Cup last year. He had Gallardo aboard, finished 5th, beaten 13 and a quarter lengths to Arrogate. He run a great 4th. It really come from out of nowhere in last year's Breeders' Cup Classic. He was destroyed at Saratoga twice by Gunrunner, beaten 13 plus lengths in both the Woodward and the Whitney. But, really found improvement from somewhere in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Was 4th, beaten only 4 lengths. Was the only horse of the top 4 finishers to pass anybody that race. Gunrunner wire to wire collected 2nd at every call. West Coast finished 3rd, was 3rd throughout. War Story at least passed a few horses. Got a big number. Jorge Navarro's got him fresh, and could be a sneaky horse for the exotics. 3rd, 4th. To finish 3rd and 4th, and round out some exotics at good prices. But I just couldn't sell myself on this horse. He's run twice at Gulfstream. Never hit the board. Prior to the Breeders' Cup Class, there's just nothing there. So I assigned him a 4% chance of winning the race, 25 to 1 fair value. Gets a strong rider in Jose Ortiz, strong trainer in Jorge Navarro, but War Story, he found something dramatically last time, and he's going to have to find another jump to win this race. The number 9 horse is Toast of New York for Jamie Osborne. Frankie Dettori into ride. You can see this horse, he won a synthetic race by 16 down here. He captured the UAE Derby, a $2 million race, by 2.5 lengths. Actually run a good second to Shared Belief in the Pacific Classic. And the one time this horse run on dirt in his career was the 2014 Breeders' Cup Classic. He come within a nose of winning the whole thing. He was beating just a nose in the Breeders' Cup Classic. California Chrome was 3rd in that race. He was clearly better than California Chrome that day. But Toast of New York was retired with a tendon. He had tendon issues after that Breeders' Cup Classic performance. After he was retired, he went to stand stud in Qatar, the country of Qatar. I don't know if it's pronounced Qatar or Qatar, but it's an Arabic country. They have a lot of oil money. Toast of New York was standing stud in there. He comes back off a more than 3-year layoff at Lingfield, wins a condition stake by a length. Beats a horse in Petite Jack, who's 7 for 13 lifetime on synthetic over there in Europe. And Petite Jack actually did come back to win, so it was a halfway decent performance. They're really shooting for the moon. Jamie Osborne is here. He brings Toast to New York all the way to America. One race in over 3 years is all he has under him. I'm not completely discounting him. For the simple fact that his one dirt race was just a phenomenal performance. He come within a nose of winning the Breeders' Cup Classic. But still, you're hung out in post 9, one race in over 3 years. I just couldn't assign him anything better than a 2.5% chance, which makes him 40-1 fair value. Intriguing horse, Toast in New York, the failed stallion in Qatar, coming to America for the Pegasus. All right, the 10 horse here is Breeders' Cup Classic winner Gunrunner, made odds-on 4-5 favorite on the morning line. You can see his last 6 buyer figures have all been 110 or higher. Comes in off 4 straight Grade 1 victories, all by open lengths. Last defeat came in the mud in the Dubai World Cup, where he was second to, the mighty Arrogant. He's a horse that, if you look back through his form, might not be a horse that likes a wet track. So Gunrunner, clearly the horse to beat on paper here. The problem, he drew post position number 10. There is 3 genuine speed horses to his inside. Jockey Florent Giroux is he's really going to have his hands full. He needs a clean break. He needs the race to unfold right to get a good position. He'll have to be much the best if the race doesn't, unfold perfect. Could be a scenario like with Bolt d'Oro, Corey Nakatani had in the juvenile, where he get hung out to dry if he doesn't break great, or if he does break great, you duel with Sharp Azteca early. I don't care who you are, you're gonna pay a price for it going 1 1/8. So tactically speaking, this is a tough scenario that Gunrunner's in. But he is the best horse. He is going forward all the time. Steve Asmussen doesn't run many at Gulfstream, but he's got one here. 40% chance I assigned him. 8-5 is fair value for the Breeders' Cup Classic winner, Gunrunner. The number 11 horse is Seeking the Soul for Dallas Stewart. Dallas Stewart's had a lot of luck with big long shots, especially big long shots that come from off the pace in major races. Like he's had multiple second place finishers in the Kentucky Derby with big long shots from off the pace. He won the Kentucky Oaks with Lemons Forever. Seeking the Soul won the Clark Handicap at Churchill Downs last time out, upset it at 7-1 odds. It's being a handicap race. He got a big weight break that day. He got 7 pounds from Hopportunity, beat Hopportunity by a length and a half. You see the C here, which means the race really set up for closers. It was a fast pace. They went 47-1. So Seeking the Soul got in light under the handicap conditions, got a good setup. His win in the Clark Handicap wasn't the most conclusive win you'll see. Pace will set up great for him here. Dallas Stewart tends to be dangerous in these type of spots, but drew post 11. Other horses have a lot more appeal. Yes, Seeking the Soul's getting better all the time, but he's going to need a significant jump to win, and he's going to need a pace meltdown too. So you got a 5-year-old looking for dramatic improvement and a pace meltdown. I just don't see, the likelihood of that happening in combination. I give him a 2% chance to win. 50-1 fair value for Seeking the Soul. And finally, the 12 horse is Giant Expectations. This was the horse who absolutely lost the post position draw, getting hung out, marooned out in the 12 hole. He's a horse, you see at the bottom, he was actually second to Arrogant in a maiden special weight race. He's a New York bred. He ended up going from the West Coast to Belmont. Won his maiden condition, his state bred allowance condition, back to the West Coast, won the Grade 2 Pat O'Brien, going 7 furlongs. He really took advantage of a change of tactics from Collected last time in the San Antonio. That was the race where Baffert inexplicably changed tactics. They went 24-3, 49, basically walking on the lead. Giant Expectations, a horse who never sniffs the front, was allowed an uncontested lead through just pokey, crawling fractions. He stayed on, went wire to wire at 13-1 odds, got a big lifetime best buyer figure of 106. Basically won the grade 2 San Antonio, all because Collected changed tactics. Now he's marooned out in the parking lot, going to be breaking from the hot dog stand with just far faster horses to his inside. Doesn't have the closing kick at 1 1/8 to win. I probably am overestimating him by giving him a 1.5% chance of winning this race, making him 75-1 fair value. His jockey Gary Stevens, has been saying all week that this horse shouldn't be underestimated. Well, Gary Stevens has said a lot of crazy things over the years. He's an excellent jockey, though. He's going to have his hands full with giant expectations, breaking from the 12 hole in the Pegasus World Cup.